Yeah. So as we are ready with like in Savasana instance, okay, so now we are ready to practice whatever which is going ahead with the concepts from today. Okay, so today, now before going into like in the concept of today, let me tell you how my classes will be. First few minutes will be like in taking a notes of that specific concept. Okay, next it will be like an explaining about it, explanation which I can say, explanation of that topic. Okay, then practical demonstration in tool in the sense instance only. Okay, then I'll go with the queries Q&A. So this is how the structure or the sequence of our class will be. Not only for today's concept, for every day, I'm going to give a notes of like in few minutes. Okay, that notes is just for like in if I go with just like that, so the words whatever which I'm going to give will go into your mind. So that's what about like in which I prefer taking notes. Okay, and the next thing is like an explaining about the concept. Then I'll go with the practical demo in our instance, and I'll go with your queries and doubts. Okay, so whatever the queries we have, you people have, note somewhere else, and then you can ask all the queries in end of the session. Okay, so now I got one question in chat box, in which tool should be used. So we are going to use this one. This is the ServiceNow instance actually. So yesterday we have discussed about like in how to create a ServiceNow account and how to request an instance. Okay, I'll share you the recording video very shortly. Okay, then you can go ahead with like in this, and you can create this instance, and then you can start up. Okay, Kishore?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Fine. So let's go with like in the concept of today's user creation. Users creation. Okay, so write it down. What is user? Write it down. Users are the individuals. Users are the individuals who can access instance by defining them as users in the system. Who can access instance by defining them as users in the system. I'll repeat again. Users are the individuals who can access instance by defining them as users in the system. Full stop. Next line. By creating a user account, by creating a user account for a particular user, for a particular user, we can store we can store all the details of the users, all the details of the users, and and we can add that users to groups. We can store all the details of the users, and and we can add and we can add that users to groups, and also can assign them as roles, and also can assign them as roles. Full stop. I'll repeat again. By creating a user account for a particular user, We can store all the details of the users, and we can add that users to groups and also can assign them as roles. Okay. Now, next, write it down. Types of users. Types of users. First type, admin, admin, ITIL user, end user. There are three types of users. One, admin, ITIL user, end user. End user. Okay. Now write it down. Keep it as a note. Note. The backend value of user table is sys underscore user. I'll tell you what it is. The backend value of user table is sys underscore user. Full stop. Okay, so now let us discuss about like in what is users, types of users, and how we are going to create a users, and how we are going to use this as well in projects. Okay, so let's start. So what you people know about user? General meaning which I'm asking, who are users? Just keep this about like in
Person
service now
who
aside.
uses the application,
Exactly,
the end user.
exactly. The same thing. Let's say example, let me give an example. So I'm using Gmail account. So I am Gmail user. Let's say more flexible thing, I'm using WhatsApp. So I'm WhatsApp user. I'm using Instagram. I'm Instagram user. So who are going to use that specific application or software or anything, then they are called users. Right? In the same way, whoever is using or else who can access our instance as an individual, whoever have a login ID for this one, user ID and password for the instance to work with or else to get the services from a service now, then those people are called as users. Simply which we can say whoever have login to instance, those are called users. Okay, so you have an access for your instance, right? Then you are a user of the instance, your instance. If I move to like a project, so in my project there is like a team of 20 people. Okay, 20 people have a 20 user IDs, and then the 20 user IDs have a passwords as well and the details as well over there. Okay, so user is nothing but who can access instance or else who can get a services from a instance like in service now is nothing but users. Okay, so here we are going to store user details. Let's say example, you have a email ID, you have a contact number, you do have like an department and where your location, so all the things which is available, right? So those things which you are going to store in a user record, I'll show you how that look like and we are going to create that as well. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you how this user is helpful in a projects and all these things as well. Okay, so just user is, that's what actually. So now we'll go with like in types of users. See, we do have like in three types of users. One is like an admin user, ITIL user, and end user. Admin user. So admin is nothing but just like a owner. Okay, so the person who having this admin role can work on into an activity, which I can say over all the modules. So he will have entire access of our instance. Okay, so he can access everything in a ServiceNow instance, which I can say. So he will have all the permissions to perform creating a record, reading the records, or else, editing the records or deleting the records also he can do. Is nothing but admin is something. This is what actually. Okay, yeah, I will tell you what is ITL user as well one by one. Okay, so I got like in one more question in the chat box. What is the purpose of ITL? Okay, so I'm going one by one, right? After finishing admin, I'll go with ITL. Then I'll go with end user. So everything which I'll go ahead. Okay, whatever the questions might be, just keep aside. I will clear all the queries in end of the session. Hope you people understand. Thanks for that. Okay, so admin is something. This is what the person who having like an entire access or entire permissions to the instance. Okay, so as a developers we should have a admin role. As a product owners or else maybe like an manager or else someone who is working in a projects having with a higher designations also will have a admin role. Okay, so it depends on like in the requirement and the availability and then the designation and then the work which they do. It depends on that which we are going to provide a specific roles to the users. Based on that roles we are going to define whether he is a admin user, ITL user, or else customer or end user. Okay, so now let us move with like in the next one, ITIL user. So ITIL is nothing but as we discussed in the demo class. Okay, so here we are going to, this is a infrastructure library thing. Okay, so here we are going to give an access with like an ITIL role who having an access only for a, let me keep it over here full access or full permissions will be there. Okay, in ITIL we have only for specific tables only it will be available. Let's say incident table, problem table, change table, service request table. Only for these tables which they will have an access to create the records or else to work on those records. Only limited access will be there for them to work with the instance. Okay, why this is nothing but we are not going to give all access to like into everyone. Let's say example you have a lot of a property, so that property keys or something else whatever it might be you are not going to give to everyone in your home or else in your wherever you're working, right? So the keys will be only with the owner, and the access for like in that specific users or persons will be like an only limited access will be available, right? In the same way we are not going to give full access or permissions to everyone which is there in an instance, okay, which is there in a project also, which I can say. Okay, so limited access will be available. So ITIL is nothing but we are ITL user is nothing but we are going to give a access for like in limited access will be available. The person who having this specific role can access incident table, problem, change, and request modules, which they can only raise the tickets or else which they can work on the tickets. Okay, mostly ITL user is nothing but support team. Let's say I'm working on like a support project. Support project people will have this one. Okay, developers will have this admin as an example. uh, the next one which I'll go with like an end user. End user is nothing but the customers or is the clients. Okay, so who is getting the services, so they are called end users. End user is a person who doesn't have any access to the service now modules actually, but only they can rise or order something. No access to our instance, but for them they will have an access for the portal. I showed you, right? Service portal, I have raised an incident as well, and I showed you, and whatever which they need to access something or they need to order something or else they need to raise a complaint, they need to raise a ticket. Okay, all the things will be available for them in a service portal but internal instance. So see these modules, okay, whatever it might be available, all the applications and modules will not be available to the end users. They are the current customers, which I can say. Okay, so three types of users are available Here, one is like an admin user. He will have a full permissions in our instance. He can do everything in our instance. And then ITAL is like but limited access will be available and users no access to the instance. But anyhow, they can access a service. They can access a service portal and they can rise up tickets and they can order something or they can request something. Okay, now let's move to it like in what is this table? What's the backend value of this one is nothing but whatever the thing. Let's say example, if I go to the concepts over here, all the concept, each concept is nothing but one specific table. And each table has a backend value of that table. Okay, and each table has like in fields and each field has a backend value. Okay, so this backend value which we are going to use in scripts. Let's say example, I need to read or else I need to call few user records from this specific table. Okay, so if I use like an user table, that won't take, the compiler will not take. If I use like instance underscore user, then only it will read and then only it is recalled, it's like in called. Okay, so let me navigate to now. The explanation is about like in users and types of users is done. So let me show you how the user table looks like and how we are going to create a user record. Okay, how that is useful in our service now. Okay, so in the left navigation menu, as I told you yesterday, this is a banner frame, left navigation menu, and this is a content frame, right? So in a filter, type users. Okay, one second. Yeah. Just scroll down and under system security, we have users, right? Open this. So how I got this in a new tab is nothing but you can utilize like and click on like in control and you can click on this or else like right click and open link in new tab. Or else there is like a few more shortcuts. You can use backend value of the table. This underscore user dot capital list. Capital is nothing but it will go with the new tab with all the list. See, both are same. By typing over the backend value or else just giving with like an search also will help. Okay, so even this also will help actually. Okay, and I'm gonna give like a few more shortcuts how to open like a new record form and everything in next classes as well. Okay, so as of now, let's focus on like in use how to create a user record. See, this is a table of a user table. Okay, the backend value which you can observe in the URL. So not only for user table, whatever the table might be which you are going to open, so the backend value will be after servicenow.com slash. This is underscore user is the backend value of this user table. Okay, so this is the list of records which is available. See how many are there. Here we have 626 records. 626 users available in our instance, and then the details whatever. Okay, so the record details whatever which is available over here is just a dummy data only because the instance is just for like in practice purpose, personal developer instance, right? This is a demo data which I can say. But whereas in your project, okay, the details whatever user ID, name, email ID and all the things is available real time, real data only. It's not a demo or dummy data. Let's say your name ABC and then your ID, your name and your email ID, all the things will be added over there. Okay, so to create a new record, so here see here we have a new button and I'm going to give like in full demonstration about like in what are the options available over here, what it is, what's the list view, what's the form view, and there is a filter conditions as well. Okay, there is like a lot of options available. Okay, so all these things which I'm going to show, what are these things is available over here, what are these options available, everything which I will discuss in the next class, further classes after 2 to 3 days. Okay, as of now just know learn about like in how to create a user record. Okay, so don't be confused about like in what and all these things. It's like a simple thing, just these are the columns and these are the records, that's it. Okay, so to create a new user record, so creating a new user record is nothing but we are going to add one user to the instance who is going to get an access to this instance. Let's say one person came into your project. Okay, so we are going to, you need to provide an access to that specific person of your instance. Let's say dev instance, development instance. Okay, so what you will do, that is like in two options generally they will do in your projects. One is like in by using LDAP integration, and second thing is like in just going over here, okay, and opening the record, and you can go with this as well. If it is like in bulk amount of users you need to do, you can do by using integration, or else you can export and import as well. If it is like in an Excel sheet, it is like 100 records is there, 100 users you need to give an access. Okay, so you can export and import. That is the import its concept as well. I'll tell you how to import the data by using Excel into Service now. Okay, as of now, let's take like in one or few users, like in 2 to 3 users and all. So it will be easy for us going with the manually. Okay, so just navigate to like in users and open the list, and in the top corner, right corner, you will get like a new button. You click on that, and now this is a new record of a user. So here, see, we are going to give you details of an users. That's it. See, user ID, first name, last name, what's the designation of the person, which department he belongs to, and this is about like in password reset and all the stuff, and see all the details only. Okay, so I will go with like in one by one all the fields available over here. Okay, so let me give like in here demo user. Okay, so he is the user, and first name which I'm gonna give like in demo, and last name I'm giving like in user. So you can give any name, no specific restrictions or anything. But whereas in project, they will give your name. Okay, and title, so which I can go ahead with like in developer. Let's say example, I belong to IT technician or something else. There is like a developer as well. Senior developer only is there. Okay, let me go with like a senior developer. Okay, and department, I belong to development department. Let's say example. Anything which you can go ahead, okay? And password needs reset. So whenever you're giving access to the person, okay, so you're going to give like an user ID. This is the user ID, and the password if you click on this. Okay, so the random password will be generated after saving it, and you are going to share this random password. And whenever he open this with a URL, with this URL, he will get the user ID and password column over here. Okay, we need to give a user ID and random password, and later immediately he will get a password reset as well. New password and old password he'll give, and then he will log in. Okay, this is about like in password need reset. Or else if you uncheck this one, whatever the password which you give, that will be available. Okay, and then logged out. So logged out and active. So you need to know the difference between these two. Active is nothing but he is a active user. So if he is like an active user only, if it is like an two checked, it's like an vice versa of this one. So active is nothing but he is the person who is active user, and the person is there in the project. Let's say example, he is in the project. If it is like an inactive user, okay, he left the company, so we can make this user as a inactive. Okay, what about like in logged out? Logged out is nothing but, let's say you are giving like in 4 to 5 times the password as incorrect. Okay, it will be logged. Okay, or else let's say example you are going to vacation or else somewhere else, and let's say example you are not, will not be in a project for few months, and later you will be back for sure. Okay, maybe like in you are there in your medical leave or anything. Okay, then you can, they will make your profile as like an your record, user record as a logged out, and they will make it as a inactive. Okay, so if someone tried with your user ID and password also, it won't work. That's for like in security purpose they'll do that actually. Okay, so that's what about like, and we just need to make it an active. Okay, the next two we have web service access only, and then internal integration user. So this we can use only for like an integration purpose. Okay, so this is also regarding like in uh, integration only. Web service is nothing but which we are going to use web services like REST, SOAP, and all this. Okay, so only for that specific user, then we will check on this one. Okay, and then I'll go with like a right side. So email ID, which we can give with like an anything. Let's say demo user at gmail.com. So here I'm giving gmail.com, but whereas in your project, can you will get like in the project ID over here. Let's say example ABC is my project, abc.com. It's like in project is something with the client only, right? The client is nothing but product based company. Maybe like in anything which you can add on. Okay. And the language, it's normally it's like an English and calendar integration. So you can go with like an Outlook and time zone you can set up. Okay, date format you can set up and your phone number you can add your photo as well. Okay, so now you have given like in the details over here. So there is like a submit button, and then if I right click over here, there is a save as well. Okay, so I'll tell you the difference between these two. If I click on save, so see there is a pop-up called save, record, and remind here. So I will remind the same page even after I'm saving the form. If I submit the form, what will happen? I'm going to redirect the page to like a before page. It's nothing but list of a user ID will come up. Okay, so after saving the form, I do have got like a few more options. One is like an update, set password, and delete. So as I told you, right, password need reset, I said. So you can click on like in set password and I can generate it and then copy it and share it to them. Okay, this is a password. Copy it and you can save the password and you can share it to them. And as soon as they click on that password and they will get a click on old password and new password also they will get it and they will reset the password later because we have clicked on this one. Okay, so this is about reset password and you can delete the record if you want, if it is not necessary, but deleting the record is not suggested or recommended. You can inactivate the user. Okay, and then update is nothing but let's say I need to update something else, the username which I just did to change it to user one. Okay, and then you can go ahead and you can update it. Okay, this is about like in this one, and if I scroll down, see there is like a few more options is available, and these three buttons is nothing but the same thing will be available here as well. Just ignore that one for short, but both will work simultaneously. If you do here or here, both are same. Okay, and related links is here we have like in three links. One is view linked list. If there is like in any linked accounts with this, then it will showcase. And subscriptions, if you have any, then it will showcase. And you need to reset a password, you can click here as well. If I click over here, the one more list will come up, and here I can select and I can reset the password. Okay, and let me go back and scroll down. So entitled custom tables, so this we are not gonna use it, so we are going to add on like in few custom tables if we want over here, or else we can skip it, ignore it. And the main thing which we will use very frequently, these two, roles and groups. Okay, there is like a next concept is like in roles creation, and the next thing is like in groups only. Okay, we will discuss whenever we are discussing about like in roles and groups. Roles, we are gonna add a roles to the user, and we can add this user to specific groups as well. Okay, and now I'll go with the delegates. Delegates is something, let me click on like a new and show you. So I'm working in this project and unfortunately, so I met with an accident or else I'm not, I should not, I cannot join into like a project for few weeks. Let's say I'm a manager and I need to involve into like an need approvals, assignments might be there, notifications might be there, meeting invitations might be there. Okay, so these three if there now we can ignore. So if there is like an approvals which you need to approve something to move the project forward. Okay, so someone needs to log in and someone needs to approve from your end, right? So if you're not available in the project for a few days or weeks or something else, what we can do instead of you, okay, in your place, behalf of you, someone should work on, someone should approve all your approve requests, whatever which you're getting. So in that way, what we can do, we can add a delegate. So instead of you, the person will approve yours. Let's say example, Abraham Lincoln is my colleague with the same designation or same level of job he is doing. Okay, so I'm adding that person as a delegate. So whatever the approvals coming with the my name, or else assignments or notifications or meeting, so you can check it up. Which one should go to that specific delegate user, and that will be gone to that user. Okay, and the approvals will trigger to this person as well along with this person. So he's not there in the project for few days. Those days he is going to take care of like an approvals or whatever it might be the check things. Okay, so here we can add like in start and end dates over here. Okay, so let's say example these dates, just now it's there. Okay, so maybe like in 1 week or 2 weeks or something else, which we will select the dates and time over here and we'll submit it. Now whatever the user or else whoever the user is like in coming up, okay, so they are going to get the approvals request and all these things as well. Okay, so let me go back. This is about like in delegates. Now I have added Abraham Lincoln as the delegates. Okay, so if you wanna make it as like in false, I can remove this person as well if I come back. Okay, and the subscriptions is nothing but if you have like an any subscriptions as well over here, then I can add. It depends on like an project actually. If you're working with like an asset management or some other stuff and all, so you will get like in subscriptions over here. But as of now, you're not gonna use these two much actually. Okay, so now see I have created this demo user and which is there. So let me check this user was there in my table or not. The list which I have showed you right before. Okay, whether he is there. This demo user is there in my list 269 something right before 626. Okay, now it has added to 627. So let me show you that specific thing as well. Demo user, see here I have. Here you go. So if you want to updated thing, so there is a update thing. Okay, so you can click on it for descending order and ascending order. Okay, you will get the latest one first. So demo user I have. If I want to open this, I can open the record and I can check it up. Okay, so that's how which we are going to use this one, creating a user. So now I have created a user ID and the password as well. So I will share this URL, this user ID and the password as well whenever I generated this one. These three which I'll keep it in a mail and I'll send to this user, demo user. Okay, then he will utilize the URL and he will log in and he can get an access of this instance. Okay, so that's how about like in creating a users and giving an access to any of a person who came into like a project. Okay, so I just got a question about like an to repeat about delegate user. Delegate user is nothing but behalf of you, someone need to approve something. Let's say example, I'm a manager or he is a manager. Okay, so unfortunately he will be in leave for 1 week. Okay, so he need to approve something in the project. Okay, so approving and the meeting invitations or whatever it might be, which he just need to do very important and crucial work, whatever it might be. Okay, so behalf of this person, someone need to take the lead. Someone need to work. Okay, or else someone needs to take that specific approvals and all, and he need to approve those. Okay, so the someone is nothing but we have added one another user who having the same level of designation or as the position, and he will take care of this specific person. Okay, whatever the work he just need to do. Okay, working is nothing but approving and then all these things and all. Okay, so he can go ahead. So that's how the delegate users is nothing but, and how many users we can add as delegates is nothing but there is no specific limit and all. Okay, we do have like a new button which we can add it as the option which we have, but uh, it's better to go with like in one or two, but not more than that. So as of now, it's like in only one which we have used it. Okay, even my projects I haven't used it before, but the option is available. It's better one or not more than two, which I can say, but the option is available. You can go with like in multiple as well. Okay, so I hope you got what is, delegate, Madhu. Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. No worries. Yeah. So this is about like in creating a user's record and then how we are going to utilize this one. Okay, whenever you enter into project, okay, so they are going to provide you the URL of the instance, user ID and password. You're going to utilize those and you're going to get an access of the instance and then the work starts. If they are not going to provide an user instance and all these things, and if they are giving a task of in any developing task or something else, okay, so you cannot work on, or else they might ask, or else they might go ahead with like in colleagues user IDs, and they can utilize like in another person's access until they get access, until they get their own access. Okay, so that's how which we are going to utilize. Okay, so this is about like an user record and how we are going ahead. So if you're okay with this, then I can go with like an, roles and groups as well, or else do you want this to discuss in some other day? Even that also, which I can go ahead. And before that, there is like in one request for you guys, those who joined without contacts. It's like an no one contacted me, or else no one, pinged me, no one spoke with me before. Please give me your contact numbers, not the Prakash sir referrals. I'm asking about like in the contacts of my one. It's like in Rashikar, Raj, Ravikiran, and I think Vinod is there. Ravikiran also is there, I guess, right? Yeah, we'll see. So got these things actually. I just need to be, go with like in registration process. So that's what I'm asking you. Okay, so yeah, I'll go with like in your question. There is one question over there in the chat, I guess. Let me check. Do the requirement from client will have roles of the delegates? Roles of the delegates, I didn't get, there is like a delegates is nothing but he is a user only. So the user will have a, for sure, the roles will be there for the user for sure. Let's say example, we are just adding another user to do the previous user's job. That's it. Okay, so the before user will have like a new roles, and the next user also will have the roles. So everyone will have the roles actually. So whoever having that specific roles or the one who can approve it, the persons only which we are going to add on. Okay, so let's say example, there is an approval request for me. Okay, I need to approve it. Okay, I cannot assign the delegate who cannot approve that specific thing. So who is having that specific access, that user only I'm gonna add it. So that's how it will be actually. So hope that is clear. If not, let me know. I'll rephrase it. Okay, yeah, guys, any questions? Let me know, please. Yeah, so which roles required for creating user profiles is one of the question I got it. So to create a user profiles, we need to have a admin role. As a developer, we are going to give an access. And here I told you, right, we can import users by using many ways. One is this way, creating an user record. That is like an LDAP integration. By using that also we can do. Okay, and then we can go ahead with like an exporting and importing as well. So whatever which you are doing, you need to have a admin role. It's not about like a group admin role, individual admin role also fine. Anything is fine. If you have a in group admin role also assigning to admin role to you only, right? You belong to that group, whatever the roles having in that specific group will be having you as well. So that I will discuss in a roles and groups concept. As it is like in starting classes, I should not rush with like in all the concepts actually, and they might be like in latecomers as well. So let me go with like in one by one only. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss roles and groups. It's already 9:45. Okay, I'll go with your questions now. So is it clear, Sai? It's not about like an only group admin. Oh, individual admin also, it's fine. Whoever can go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Any further questions, guys? All good?
Priyanka, Abhishek here. There's
Yeah,
a
Abhishek.
question regarding how many users we can add as delegates. So,
Yeah, I
I,
told you, right?
is there a limit? Because
There is no specific limit, but the
okay,
recommended thing is like in we can go with only one person or two persons. If it is like in more than that, they will get confused, right? Let's say example, there is a I have requested one approval to so and so person. Let's say example demo user, and I have added four delegates over here. So among these four delegates, three are available and three are working right now. And among those three, who is going to approve my request? So it is something else clumsy, right? So I recommended thing is like in one or two, it's not more than that, but the option is available. We can go with the multiple users as well.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. And difference between admin and developer in service. It's about like in whoever working as a developer role will have an admin access, admin role. Admin is nothing but we are going to give like a role to the specific user who can get a full access. If I have like in full access, then I can develop whatever the requirement is from the client. Okay, so that's how. And how can we get access to today's recording and yesterday's, please? Recording access, I'll get it. I just need to get a confirmation from few of the people. Okay, then I'll go with the registration as well. Okay, so those who have like a registration thing, and I have your mail IDs. I have created one drive folder as well for your people, for your right. So this is the one. I'm going to give access to this folder very soon after getting a confirmation from everyone. Okay, so I do have all your mail IDs, so no need to worry about it. I was busy right now with like in my work and all. So as soon as possible, I'm gonna clear like and getting a confirmation from everyone, and then I'll do that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All good. Any further? And Satish, right? Satish only, no? Uh, who was having like an issue with instance? Who was that? Sorry, I forgot the name. Someone asked me that they didn't.
Upgrading the instance
Yeah,
to.
it's me, Priyanka.
Yeah, yeah. Share your screen, please.
Yeah, just a second.
Sorry, I forgot your name. Siraj.
Yeah, Priyanka, it's showing that host disabled screen sharing.
1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
Is my screen visible, Priyanka?
Yes. The content you're viewing, okay. Just click on your profile over there, top right corner.
May I release this instant and create a new instance, Priyanka?
No require. Yeah, release it and yeah, do that. Click on release instance. 1 second. Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry to interrupt. Yesterday I did this same thing, but I didn't do this release instance. I just updated, that's it. It became it updated to the
Yeah, it will come. It will come. There is like an issue with him actually, so he cannot wait for a long hours, right, to get updated.
no. yesterday I did and night it happened. It is successful.
It comes sometimes.
Okay.
It will take few hours sometimes, few minutes and few seconds also. It depends on the the pipeline of the request which they get to the service now. Okay, it depends.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, good to know that you raised that. Yeah, you closed it and you wait for some time. If still you're having this one, okay, refresh and log out and log in and try it again. If still have, so let me know.
Yeah, can I go with request instance?
Yeah, that's the next step. Go to it, request it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Priyanka, thank you.
Now you'll get it. So after the fulfilling request in instance status is there, no? Under my instance, left, beside to that, there is a release upon, there is a cancel button, right? Fulfilling request is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that will come up and it will show it.
Yeah, okay, Priyanka.
Okay. Yeah. Good. And what will be the training timing from tomorrow? The same timings, 7 to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So it's like an IST time. Yeah, all good, guys. Any further questions? Please let me know. If not, we can wind.
Yeah, Priyanka,
Yeah.
in starting you said that some of the users will create by using LDAP integration. So what
Yeah.
is mean by LDAP integration now? How we can add
LDAP,
more users?
LDAP integration is nothing but we are going to club all the user IDs and all the names and all, and we will integrate it, and we will, there is like in the data is there in the server or any other machine or something else, and we will import all those directly by using integration. Okay, let's say there is the data is there in other application or somewhere else. Okay, so we will extract those and we will import it over here by using integration.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. One more thing, Priyanka, is there any WhatsApp group for our classes?
Yeah,
Or
it's
creating any WhatsApp
there.
group?
It's there already. Are you who referred you?
Prakash.
Then Prakash sir will do that. Okay, I'm not gonna help you out with this anything. Okay,
Sure.
just ask him if there is anything he will.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, all good, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, then, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, we'll go.
Thank you.
And before that, yeah, I want to tell you one thing. You are ready with like an instance, right? So just practice with like in create 2 to 3 users. Okay, and you will not forget about it. It's very easy. Just giving a details about that. That's it. Just practice. It will be there in your mind. Okay.
So just creating
Okay,
the user details, that's enough, right? So
Yeah. The rest we will discuss tomorrow. Roles and groups.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So
Yeah, okay, Priyanka.
thank you so much for joining, guys. Have a good evening. Bye bye.
bye bye. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.